Good evening, West Orange, and welcome to our June 23rd conference agenda. Madam Clerk, would you kindly read the opening statement, please?
This is to inform the general public that this meeting is being held in compliance with Section 5 of the Open Public Meetings Act, Chapter 231, Public Law 1975. A notice of this meeting was mailed to the Star-Ledger and the West Orange Chronicle on December 1st, 2014. A notice of this meeting was also posted on the bulletin board in the Municipal Building, West Orange, and filed in the office of the Municipal Clerk of the Township of West Orange on December 1st, 2014. Councilman Cirillo?
Present.
Councilman Krokoviac?
Present.
Councilwoman Spango?
Present.
Councilwoman McCartney?
Present.
Council President Garino.
Present.
Mayor Parisi.
Present.
Thank you, Madam Clerk, and thank you to my colleagues. Thank you for Mayor Parisi being here this evening. Tonight is one of the things that we like doing a lot. We like honoring members of our community, the children of our community, and all the volunteers. So it's nice to see council chambers filled with great parents and great children and athletes and members of the West Orange Police and West Orange Fire Department. So without further ado, Mayor Parisi, would you kindly make your presentations?
Thank you, Council President. Before I do speak, a lot of good cheer here tonight. I kind of thought I'd add to that. Nikki Allegrino and I just scooted out of the Township employee-sponsored Lefty Bowling Golf Outing. It's been going on for many years. It was a very successful event. Bill Keogh, Edwin, Joe Pelosi all did a great job. They are probably right about this very minute at the dinner giving out thousands of dollars in grants to special education teachers here in our district. So another really good day for the Township today. So,
That's great. Thank you,
I know
Mayor.
a lot of the council supported it. A lot of our employees did, and it was a great day. But we're here tonight to recognize some members of our fire department, members of our police department, Nikki Allegrino, a volunteer with our first aid squad. We all know that life can change sometimes in a minute without a lot of notice, and never is that any more true than for the members of our police department and our fire department, where they go to work every day knowing that a normal shift can get very serious very quickly. And that's exactly what happened on May 22nd with a very out-of-control fire on Watson Avenue. So the Chief Smeraldo, who I'll introduce in a minute, is going to give the specifics of exactly what happened, but we are proud to recognize the hard work of members of our fire department, police department, for all they do every day, but specifically to recognize today Fire Captain Joseph Byrne, firefighter Kevin Dean, firefighter Thomas Quigley, police officer Danny Valley, police officer Quentin DeMarco, police officer Edwin Diaz, and of course Nikki Allegrino, who wears a lot of hats here for the community, but on that night was a volunteer, ran into the fire as a member of our first aid squad to do what was right for our residents. So we're proud every day of the members of our police department, fire department, all the emergency services, but thought it was especially appropriate to recognize these members tonight for what they did on that horrible fire on May 22nd. So I'd ask our fire chief, Pete Smeraldo, to give us the specifics, and then we can bring up the members of our fire and police department.
Good evening, Chief.
Good evening. Thank you very much for having us here. Cap Buey, if you'd like to join me up here, please. On behalf of Chief Abbott, who is away for the evening, Acting Chief Buey is here also to present the awards with us, and I'm glad to have him standing here by my side. So I'm going to read to you what was presented to me from Deputy Chief Al Souza, who was the tour commander of the evening in question with this particular fire. It says, sir, attached an award recommendation for the West Orange Fire, Police, and First Aid Squad personnel for their actions on the evening of May 22nd, 2015. After initially dispatched a reported structure fire at 164 Watson Ave, the arriving units determined that the fire was located at 155 Watson Ave. It was further reported that there was 2 unaccounted residents in the building with their last known locations either on the 2nd or 3rd floor. Upon arrival, the initial fire crews encountered a working structure fire involving 2.5-story, 3-family wood frame dwelling with heavy fire and smoke showing on the 2nd and 3rd floor. It was also reported by neighbors and bystanders there were 2 reported victims still inside the building. The fire was well advanced prior to our arrival and began to blow out on the B side, which is, if you're looking at the front of the building, is the left side of the building, and it was extending to the exposure, which is a building right next to it. Due to the reported life hazard and the deteriorating fire conditions, the first arriving companies were directed to interior search and fire suppression duties. As the companies were stretching the interior attack lines, they encountered issues with forcible entry. So this delayed the response. We couldn't get in because of debris and things behind the door. So now we had problems with people stuck on the 2nd and 3rd floor. The company's, the primary duties, while the interior operations were underway, police officers on scene reported that the occupants were now located on the rear second floor porch and trapped by the fire and smoke. Engine 3, under the direction of Captain Joseph Byrne, firefighter Thomas Quigley, and firefighter Kevin Dean, were ordered to ladder the rear of the building and assist with rescue operations. The 2 victims were located on the rear upper porch and stairwell and had become trapped by fire and smoke and were not able to escape to safety without their assistance. In conjunction with West Orange Police Department officers Quentin DeMarco, Ed Diaz, and Daniel Valley, and West Orange First Aid Squad member Nick Allegrino, the 2 victims were rescued from the rear upper porch via the exterior stairwell. The first victim was a 61-year-old male, was assisted down the stairs by the above-mentioned officers. The second victim, an 81-year-old female, was disoriented and unable to escape on her own. The victim was carried down by firefighters Dean and Quigley. Both rescues were conducted with conditions deteriorating rapidly and spreading fire quickly engulfed the rear stairwell. Subsequently, the stairs and the roof collapsed. The victims had to be lifted over a rear fence in order to be brought to safety. The victims were evaluated and treated for smoke inhalation by the EMS crew on scene and transported to St. Barnabas Hospital for further evaluation. Many extenuating factors precipitated this incident. The initial address was reported incorrectly, forcible entry issues, and it was later discovered that the occupants attempted to self-extinguish the fire prior to notification, and the heavy and fire conditions that were encountered upon arrival. If not for the efforts of these firefighters, police officers, and first aid member, it is my opinion these victims would have suffered more severe injuries and may not have made it to safety. Their efforts should be commended and be considered for the attached order recommendations. And that was signed by Deputy Chief, Fire Chief Albert J. Souza III. Now, I read to you what the scene was. I got to tell you, this was a very difficult fire. It was under intense stress for the officers and the firefighters on scene and all members that were reported. They were able to save these 2 people. It's not easy to carry somebody down down any kind of stairs under normal conditions. When you have fire and smoke and heated situations like this, it takes a great deal of effort. And as you can see, this was a team of 7 people that it took to carry down 2 people who were elderly and incapacitated. I truly appreciate all the work that every one of these members did. I also want to recognize in the rear all the fire personnel and police personnel who were on the scene also, in addition to these 7 individuals, because this is a fire that doesn't just take 1, 2, 3 people. This took an effort of about 35, 40 people to bring under control. So their efforts are being singled out for their job and their heroics, but it was in conjunction with a team effort. I want to salute all of them and I applaud all of them for the job well done. We're going to call them up. I can see in order here with Officer Ed Diaz, Officer Daniel Valley, Officer Quentin DeMarco, our West Orange Fire First Aid Chief Nick Allegrino, Captain Joseph Byrne, Firefighter Tom Quigley, and Firefighter Kevin Dean. Mayor Parisi, Council President Guarino, members of council, I just want to again thank all of you for your continued support of our emergency services. You know that we're there for you, and we know that you're there for us. And on behalf of all our agencies, we want to thank you for your support, continued support.
Thank you.
And thank you for the trophy.
Thank you. Thank you. It's on behalf of my colleagues on the Township Council. I also want to congratulate and thank the members of the police and the fire department for their unselfish service to the members and the residents of the West Orange community. We're very fortunate to have such dedicated members of our community. I am. I'm sorry. I thought it was. We do have great members of our township. Our employees, our firemen, our police, are give unselfishly of themselves every day, and we should be very grateful and thank them. And thank you, Mayor Parisi, for honoring them this evening. And now the mayor has another presentation to make this evening.
Thank you, Council President. Though we're happy to recognize Frank and honor him, it's actually with a little sadness because he's moving on from a long-time service to the Juvenile Conference Commission here in town. Most people don't realize even that we have that, but it's a group of volunteers that work with our court system, the police department, and Frank has done that for 15 years. I actually met Frank very innocently, knocking on his door one day 15 years ago, the day you moved in, and he's been an active part of this community for many years. So he has served on the Juvenile Conference Commission for 15 years, but his professional career is taking him in a new direction. It's going to be difficult to replace, but we wanted to recognize Frank for all he's done for this township. Luckily, he's not going anywhere. Still going to be an active member, hopefully, of the Gregory section, the Valley, for a long time. But Frank, we are most appreciative of all you've done, working with the Juvenile Conference Commission, working with me and this administration on many instances in the past, and I certainly hope that you'll still be a voice that we can count on when we need guidance. So, Frank, on behalf of the Township, on behalf of the Council, we are most appreciative and wish you the best of luck. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Mr. Mayor and Town Council. It's been an honor to serve the town of West Orange for the past 15 years. I have been on, as Rob said, the Juvenile Conference Committee. The committee is a great group of volunteers who work with the family court and hear cases that are referred by the family court of youth from West Orange. So during that period of time, we've been able to help to direct some of the families in a better direction. And it's been a great pleasure and honor to work with you. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Frank, and we appreciate your dedication and service to the Township of West Orange. So continued service and continue have a great time.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mayor. Next, we now go on to our athletes, and it's a pleasure to us to honor these two West Orange United Football Club teams for having outstanding seasons. These are the feeder teams. These are the teams that you will see going up through the middle school and to the high school, and one day being our state champions, as we've had all along. So I'd like to just go up to the podium, and I'll call each team up, and their coaches will come up and make presentations. I'd first like to have the coaches and the teams come up for the West Orange United Football Club. Let's see, first one is Liverpool. Steve, how are you, sir? Good. Sebastian, how are you? Good to see you. It's a pleasure. This is one of the great parts of being on the town council, is to honor such great youth athletes and such great men who give of their time unselfishly to and let our children enjoy a great time in soccer. I've known Steve Quirk many, many years, and Steve and I still do a lot with the Essex Fall Tune-Up that we do in September. Coach Stefano here was my daughter's coach when she played at the high school, so it's a great thing, and it's a great thing to honor our students. And I just like to read the citation. The West Orange Town Council is proud to recognize the West Orange Liverpool U11 boys soccer team. I'll let the coaches mention their names. The West Orange United Team Liverpool U11 boys went undefeated and won Flight 1 in their league with a record of 8 wins, 2 ties, and 0 losses. They participated in the South Orange Cougars soccer tournament on Memorial Day weekend and were crowned champions. The Township Council congratulates the team on their excellent sportsmanship and wishes them continued success in the future. Coaches, thank you.
Can I first just say thank you, Council President Mr. Guarino, for doing this for us, and also the Council. And I'll be quick because I know that there's probably a lot of business to do tonight. I just want to thank the Council, really, for recognising, these kids, both teams, Milan over there, young girls, and also for recognising the need to provide in this town sports facilities that we have. Without those, these kids could not progress the way they have. These teams have really stepped up, and the reason they've been able to step up because of the facilities we have. Not only the soccer players, but all teams in town. You know, hopefully our baseball teams are going to improve, our football teams are going to improve, as well as all our soccer teams. And these kids here are the future West Orange High School champions. I'd like to bring them up, and the first one will be, are the names on here, Jerry?
Yes.
Show me. Oh, yeah. Ameni Anand. Brian Babovich. Max Fishkin. Max. Don't forget him, Max. Jeremy Green. George Herbert. Take that. Go on high. Angus Kupinas. Santiago Orico. Jack Quirk. Dylan Retino. Ari Rosu. Francisco Soca. Rish Sutherland. Corey Turnbull. Nicholas Vasquez. Coach Sebastian DePino.
All right, guys. Hold it up. Get in there.
I get it first. You like peanut? Do you like
Great job, folks. Great job. As usual. Good job. Coach, good job. All right, quiet down. We got another one to go.
Okay. Okay. Thank you, Liverpool, and congratulations. We look forward to seeing you up at the high school, and have a great summer, and in whatever tournament you do, good success in your tournaments. Okay, another recognition for another part of our elite travel soccer teams, another commitment of students, athletes, parents. And yes, I do have to thank the parents, because you really do a big effort taking your players all over the place. At times, last minute, rain, sleet, everything. So we thank you. You should be very proud of your children. The next team I'd like to call up is the West Orange United Football Club, Club Milan, and their coach, Mr. Pintado. Juan. This is another gentleman who I've had the pleasure and the opportunity. Thank you. This is another gentleman who I've had the opportunity to know for quite a long time, who gives of himself unselfishly to the youth athletes of West Orange, and we couldn't do it without men like Juan Pintado. So Juan, we thank you. So I'll read this proclamation, and understand, I don't read the names because I don't want to make a mistake and get yelled at. So it's like, I let the coaches read the names. The West Orange Township Council is proud to recognize the West Orange United Football Club Milan U12 girls. The West Orange United Football Club Milan U12 girls won their division flight of the Northern County Soccer Association with a perfect record of 10-0. They participated in the South Orange Cougar Soccer Tournament on Memorial Day weekend, winning the tournament for the second year in a row undefeated. The Township Council congratulates the team on their excellent sportsmanship and wishes them continued success in the future. Congratulations.
Okay, Neka Arenza. Olivia Callender. Alisa Chan. Isabella Cohen. Mackenzie Dover. Kaya Clark. Cassidy Joyce. Isabella Papano. Emma Renwick. Sofia Ruggiero. Lily Stevens. Elida Bural. Emerson Wolf. And Jana Pastino. And Alexa Pena, still not here. Thank you very much, everyone.
It's okay, guys. I'm not midget power. Just smile. Where do you look? I You're always looking so nice. Yeah. Thank you.
No, I say I didn't want to
Okay, sounds good to me. This is yours. That was a great thing, my colleagues, honoring our youth like we do. It's so good. It reminds you when we were kids too, I'm sure, and to honor the police and firemen. So we thank them, West Orange. These are times you should be very proud of our community, and I'm sure you are. Right now we'll go to council liaison presentations. Councilman Cirillo.
Thank you, Council President. We had a meeting last week of the Degnan House. We were presented with the 2014 audit. I found that the Eagle Rock Senior Citizen Association is in sound fiscal condition for the year 2014, so that was good news. Just want to thank Chairman Frank Capron and Executive Director Debbie Solinardi for the really good work that they do over at the Senior Citizen Home. And secondly, we're working on the West Orange preference to assure that West Orange seniors receive first opportunity as it relates to housing opportunities at the Degnan House. That's all I have to report for today, Council President. Thank you.
Thank you, Councilman. Councilman Kukoviac?
Yes, thank you, Council President. I don't have anything to report from the two commissions that I sit on, but I would like to ask a question about an article that ran in the West Orange Chronicle a few weeks ago, where the mayor had told the Chronicle that the township is still working with Prism and Dune to finalize the paperwork that must be submitted to the Township Council as part of them raising capital. I had not heard about this before the article ran, so I just wondered if anyone from the administration could just tell us what was going on, because this was news to me, and please fill in the details if you could, please.
Mr. Sayers?
Yes, obviously we're in contact with them on not a weekly basis, but a bi-weekly basis, and there is some paperwork that they're trying to get together with regard to their joint venture agreement, and we're hoping to have that put together. And it's really, unfortunately, the agreement is between them and Prism, not us. We have nothing to do with it. So we're just waiting to see, once that joint venture agreement is put together, we'll be able to move forward.
So the paperwork references to the actual joint venture agreement?
Yes,
Okay.
yes.
And any timeline on that?
We actually had a conversation last week, and there were some documents that went back and forth between the two, but no, unfortunately, there is no timeline.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
That's it, Council President. Thank you.
Thank you, Councilman Kukoviac. Councilwoman Spango?
I have nothing. I had no meetings, thank you.
Okay. Councilwoman McCartney?
Thank you. I have an invitation for the West Orange Chamber of Commerce is sponsoring a free meet and greet hosted at the Essex House, 525 Northfield Avenue. The Chamber initiated this a few years back, where the community is invited to come, introduce yourself. Don't necessarily have to be a Chamber business member. It's really to acquaint yourself, let the community get acquainted with you, your community involvement. Everyone is invited. That will be Wednesday, July 15th, and starts at 5:30 at the Essex House. And I would also like everyone to save the date for October 4th, Sunday. We don't have a location just yet, but we are going to reinstate the Township Health Fair with the Public Relations Commission and the West Orange Chamber on Sunday, October 4th. Please save the date.
Thank you, Councilwoman. From the Downtown Alliance, I'd like to let everybody know that our wonderful farmers market inaugurates on this Friday at Quigley parking lot at 12 o'clock. So we'll have an official ribbon cutting, and we have some great new vendors, produce and other different delectables that you'll enjoy to see. And so come on down and enjoy our farmers market. It's going to be a great thing. And also, too, the Downtown Alliance's website is officially open now and running, and you can find it at www.downtownwo.org. So please look into it, learn about our businesses, and learn about the Downtown Alliance, and give us your opinions. And that's all I have to any other presentations. Now we can go on to our regular council meeting. Madam Clerk, welcome. Sorry. Good evening, West Orange, and welcome to our June 23rd West Orange Town Council council meeting. Madam Clerk, would you kindly read the opening statement?
This is to inform the general public that this meeting is being held in compliance with Section 5 of the Open Public Meetings Act, Chapter 231, Public Law 1975. A notice of this meeting was mailed to the Star-Ledger and the West Orange Chronicle on December 1st, 2014. A notice of this meeting was also posted on the bulletin board in the Municipal Building, West Orange, and filed in the office of the Municipal Clerk of the Township of West Orange on December 1st, 2014. Councilman Cirillo? Councilman Kukoviac?
Present.
Councilwoman Spango?
Present.
Councilwoman McCartney?
Present.
Council President Garino.
Present.
Will everyone please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance? The council is now in their public meeting.
Thank you, Madam Clerk. I now would like to open the council meeting to anyone wishing to make public comment. Is there anyone wishing to make comment to the council? Please raise your hand and I'll recognize you. Mr. Puglisi, good evening. I can always count on you, sir.
Spin that around for you. Hi, Anthony Puglisi, representing Essex County Executive Joe DiVincenzo this evening. Just a few events that I'd like to share with you. First, our summer concert series kicked off on Friday with a couple festivals in Orange Park. It continues all the way through the summer and into September. And just to highlight a couple things that are going on there, we have 3 fireworks spectaculars this year, one in Branchbrook Park, a new one in Weequahic Park, and of course one in Brookdale Park. There are 2 concerts in West Orange. One is at Eagle Rock Reservation and another at South Mountain Reservation off of Cherry Lane. All that complete schedule is on our website, which is essexcountynj.org. And then July is Parks and Recreation Month. And to celebrate that, our Parks Department is hosting a month-long schedule of events at the Clipper Pavilion, which is where the paddle boats launch off of Cherry Lane. So on Monday evenings, there's free yoga demonstrations. I won't be participating, but I'm sure there are many people who are in better shape than I will who will be. Tuesdays are concerts. Oh, and I blanked out. Wednesdays, I don't remember. It's not in that one. There's also the Montclair Art Museum will be doing arts and crafts projects on Thursday night. But again, I apologize. I had a senior moment there. All that is on our website, which is essexcountynj.org. Thank you.
Thank you. Anthony, I'd just like to thank the county for also putting out on your website and on your materials the information about OSPAC. So we appreciate that. It's a big help to that organization, and we appreciate the cooperation from the county.
Sure. Thank you.
Yes.
Anthony, I would just like to really thank you. 2 weeks at our last meeting, 2 weeks ago, I mentioned to you about the sign that was on Pleasant Valley Way that the buses were hitting. Mm-hmm. You're faster than fast, because within 2 days, it's been moved in and they replaced the sign. So thank you to the county.
Well, thank you for raising that, and also for allowing us to shift it more onto towards your building.
I was concerned about safety because the mirrors on the buses were hitting it. But great job. Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay. Thank you, Anthony. Is there anyone else wishing to be heard? I'd just like to remind everyone, this is the only time you get to make public comment to the Township Council other than ordinances on second and final reading. So if you have something to say, that you'd like to say that is on the agenda, and you'd like to speak about it, please take this opportunity now. No one wishing to be heard? Okay, I will close public comment. Any of my colleagues like to make any comments? Councilman Cirillo.
I have no comments, Council President. Thank you.
Councilman Kukoviac.
No, thank you.
Okay. Councilwoman Spango.
My only comment was to Anthony Puglisi.
Okay. Councilwoman McCartney.
Not at this time.
And I have no comments. Things are going quite well. So, in my agenda. Madam Clerk?
Yes, consent agenda.
Yes.
Approval of minutes of previous meeting, public meeting June 9th, 2015.
Consent.
Report of township officers, none. Reading of petitions and communications and bids, none. Bills, are there any questions on the bills?
Consent.
Consent.
Resolutions, are any resolutions being pulled this evening?
Councilman Cirillo.
Not at this time, but we didn't do the Pledge of Allegiance. Can we go back to that? The Pledge of Allegiance?
Yes.
We did.
We did.
Yeah.
Are you sure?
Yes.
Yeah, we
Just
did.
did.
Positive.
So I'm having a senior moment.
You are indeed.
So you're not the only one.
But Council President, thank you. I don't have any resolutions to pull at this time.
Thank you, Councilman. Councilman Kukoviac.
Yes, thank you, Council President. I'd like to pull agenda item B, resolution
Bees and
1.
Boy?
Yes.
Okay.
Resolution number 161-15. It's awarding a contract for recreational services to the West Orange Community House. Also like to pull agenda item E, resolution 164-15, a resolution to rescind an earlier resolution having to do with auction of towed vehicles. And agenda item J, resolution 169-15, it's to award a professional service contract for some remediation at the town property at the Public Works Building. I also have several questions about some of the other items on the agenda. I don't know whether now is the right time to ask them, but...
If there are questions, you should ask them now, Councilman.
Okay, great, thank you. I wanted to ask a question about agenda item G, which is resolution 166-15. It's a resolution to take title to about 3,000 square feet of property on Oak Ridge Road. And I got an email from the chief financial officer because I asked what we were going to do with the property. And he said we're going to have a community floral garden there. And I just wanted to ask about that, just to get an idea of who's going to be doing the floral garden, whether it's going to be costing us money, and anything else you can tell us about what's going on there. The property fronts Oak Ridge, very helpfully sent me a map, and it looks sort of like a ladle with a handle that goes into the property, very narrow, like maybe 30 feet across, and then comes out to the cup that's adjacent to the Oak Ridge near the cul-de-sac. But just would be, I'm sure there's people in town who would be very interested in what we plan to do with that.
Yeah, some of the neighbors had contacted the mayor and said that they would be interested in making that parcel a community garden. We researched the ownership and who owned it and whether we would be able to get that done, and that's why we're here tonight. They're going to transfer the property to us. I think the taxes were only $75 a year on the property. So they're transferring the property to us, and we're going to allow the people in the neighborhood to do a community garden at that location. But it was requested by the neighbors.
Wonderful, thank you. Wanted to ask about agenda item L, which is resolution 171-15. It's a resolution authorizing the collector of taxes to rebate some successful tax appeals. I just wanted to ask if my numbers correspond with the administration's. I've counted up about a little over $577,000 in successful tax appeals so far this year. Does that sound?
Including this would be $651,000.
$651, okay. That, of course, is much less than all of last year. Any sort of clarity you can give us on what's going on, what you expect in the
We certainly, current year appeals are way down. There are still some larger commercial appeals to come. I can't, at this point in time, give you an idea of the quantity that would be finalized this year versus next year. But
Thank you. On agenda item M, Resolution 172-15, it's authorizing the township to send out estimated tax bills for the third quarter. And I just wanted to ask a couple quick questions. Obviously, we were so excited to have the budget ready well ahead of the time. We can't send out final bills, I believe, because the county has not finished its budget process. But can you say with any sort of certainty how potentially different the tax bills that go out in the third quarter, the amount of the taxes will be, the differential that might happen once the county's budget is certified?
I can't with any level of certainty because we don't know. Don't know what the county is going to be. And this resolution is strictly a precaution. We believe that we'll be able to send out tax bills, but since the timing of the meeting schedule for council is such, we needed to put this on just in case for some reason that can't happen.
Great. The actual certification spreadsheet is very helpful because it breaks out the numbers by the type of taxes that we pay, but it's not on the town website. It's not in your budget section. Is there any reason why it shouldn't be there for people who are interested in what their taxes are going to do?
I mean, there's no reason that we can't put it. It was not sent to the council in the original packet, so that's why it's not on the website. So at the meeting, you requested a copy of the certification. Certainly, it's certainly something that we could put up.
That'd be great if you could put them up in those two areas. I'd appreciate it. Just one note: a number has actually gone up that I actually like, and it stops a long trend of our total ratables in township, which have been declining for, I think, 5 or 6 years. I don't have the numbers in front of me. The ratables on your certification actually show a slight increase this year from last year. Are those two numbers definitive? Obviously, 2014 is finished, but is 2015?
Not written in stone.
Not written in stone. Okay.
Not written in stone.
Thank you.
But your point is, well, even to the extent that it drops, it's certainly it is an indicia of the stabilization and, quite frankly, the increases that are going on in town. The only reason that it may drop is if there's some other significant tax appeals that are finalized between now and the certification. So.
Okay. Thank you. That's all I had, Council President.
Thank you, Councilman Kukoviac. Councilwoman Spango.
I'm not pulling anything. I just have a question. If the administration could just explain Resolution 168-15.
What is it?
Development agreement for the estate of U, Forfar.
Len, you got a second? Well, Lenny is more familiar with this than I am. Basically what it is this is property we're purchasing with open space money, is that correct?
No.
No.
This is a planning application.
Oh, this is the, I'm sorry.
Lincoln Avenue.
That the township has already entered into a developer's agreement with the owner of the property, and that's the estate of Hugh Forfar. That property is under contract to be purchased. One of the conditions of that agreement is that the new developer of the property, the new owner, assume all the obligations of that developer's agreement that was entered into between the estate of Hugh Forfar and the township.
Is it at the top of Lincoln Avenue?
It's at the top of Lincoln Avenue. If you go there, there's curbing in, there's roadway, there's utilities, so the lots are all ready to be built upon. Some of the there's only a few items remaining, such as roadway topping, sidewalk, shade trees to be planted.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Lepore.
I'm good.
Okay. Councilwoman McCartney?
I do not have anything
No.
to pull. Thank you.
I have a question on a resolution. Resolution H, 167-15. the Wayne Brown Band to perform at Township Independence Day celebration. Is there a clause in the contract that says, do they get paid if they perform or not?
They get paid if we cancel the event for some reason. So, in other words, they're going to be here if we have the event. Therefore, I think it's half that they get paid if we cancel.
So, if we cancel the event, they get paid half?
Yes.
Okay, because I don't see it I'm just saying, it's in the contract?
Yes.
Is that stated in the contract?
Yes.
Okay. Thank you. Councilman Cirillo.
Council President, if I may have the floor real quick. Since Mr. Lepore is here, I noticed that the resolution was not pulled, 17015, but those are road improvements to Winding Way and Dartmouth and Oxford. Can he just share with the public some of the work that's being done? Because we've gotten some polls.
Good question.
Especially Dartmouth.
Good question,
Could you
sir.
just talk a little bit about what we're considering today, so
Mr.
that,
Lepore?
for the public that's listening, they can look forward to that? And thank you, because I've received some questions.
Good call out, Councilman.
Thank you, Council President.
Good evening again. Later this summer, the township will be improving all of Oxford Terrace, one block of Winding Way from Gregory Avenue up to Lowell Avenue, and all of Dartmouth Road. The work will consist of the construction of new curbs, granite block curbs, installation of concrete sidewalks, driveway aprons. Then all the roads will be milled and paved. There is funding from the Department of Transportation for a portion of this work, not the entire contract amount, but a portion.
Okay. Mr. Lepore, are there any other roads in the area being set for improvement?
Right now, just a little preface, the water company is doing some work on Dartmouth Road and Winding Way.
Right.
The water company has some significant plans to improve the water distribution system in the upper Gregory Avenue. Most of it will be consisting of cleaning and relining their water mains. At the time, they also put in new water services to the curb. They take the meters out of the house, put them in a pit adjacent to the curb in front of everybody's home. So there's a lot of work planned going forward in the upper Gregory section. Eventually, some of the roads that we asked them to make a priority in that area were also Belgrade Terrace, Grandview Avenue, and Bradford Avenue, because of the deterioration of those streets, most of which are concrete base street, and they just deteriorate a little faster than some of the other streets.
Thank you, Mr. Lepore. Anyone else have questions for Mr. Lepore before he sits down? Thank you, sir. Yes, Councilman.
Yeah, and one more point, and I'm sorry, I don't want to hold up the meeting, but I do want to commend the administration for walking. Last week, the mayor walked with some of members of the administration, some streets, Whittlesey and Watson, some of the areas in the Fifth Ward. So I just want to make sure that the public knows that the administration is being proactive and also seeking input. So I was happy to hear that. Thank you, Council President.
You're very welcome, sir. Okay, Madam Clerk.
Okay, with the exception of resolutions B, E, and J, is there a motion to approve the consent agenda?
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? The consent agenda is implemented. Resolution B 161-15, resolution awarding a contract for the providing of recreational services and social services to the residents of West Orange for the period of January 1st, 2015 to December 31st, 2015, in the amount of $45,000 for the West Orange Community House. Councilman Krokoviac.
Yes, thank you, Madam Clerk. I don't want to belabor the point. As my colleagues know, in the contract each year, there's a requirement for the community house to file a report annually to sum up what they did during the year with the money. And the community house provides incredible benefits and services to the township, taking care of kids, younger kids, and also providing summer camp. But I just wanted to pull this because I don't feel comfortable if the community house hasn't complied with our previous contract. I don't want to approve another one, so I just wanted to pull it and would urge my colleagues to consider not voting on this, to table it until we get the report so that we know that we have compliance.
Has the, Mr. Sayers?
I just want to say two things. Number one, this really has nothing to do with them not complying with their contract. They have done the work. We just haven't got their annual report yet. It was due May 31st. We didn't get it yet. We're still waiting for it. So we just don't have the annual report. That's all we're waiting for.
Thank you.
And we would request that you approve this.
Thank you, Mr. Sayers. Madam Clerk?
Is there a motion to adopt Resolution 161-15?
So moved.
Second.
Councilman Cirillo?
Yes.
Councilman Krokoviac?
I abstain.
Councilwoman Spango?
Yes.
Councilwoman McCartney?
Yes.
Council President Garino.
Yes.
Resolution 164-15, resolution to rescind Resolution 126-15 dated April 28, 2015 for the auction taking place May 12, 2015. Councilman Krokoviac.
Thank you. At the risk of becoming even more confused about this resolution, I can't quite figure out what we're doing tonight based upon the previous prior resolution and the resolution we're being offered tonight. The resolution we're looking at tonight says that we are rescinding an earlier resolution that was used to conduct an auction of titles to cars that were picked up in the township. And it's a pretty standard thing that we do. We get the resolution and the auction goes through. And the cars are, generally speaking, not worth much. In this case, I'm confused because the earlier resolution, I believe calling it defective would be accurate. So the current resolution we have says in the title that we are rescinding the previous auction, which, if I understand Ms. DeSantis' email, went ahead as planned. We're rescinding the authorization for that auction, and yet in this resolution before us tonight, the title says that we're rescinding the previous resolution, but the body of the resolution does not refer at all to the rescission and what we're going to do about the previous auction. So I'm just not clear that what we're doing or what we have done is legal, and I just want to throw this out there.
I can address that, Councilman. There's nothing to do because there were no bids. So there's nothing to do other than to cancel the previous, do the new one. There'll be a new, the new one, this one has been advertised. There will be a new auction. Most likely, there will be no bids because generally that's what happens with these situations. And then the titles then are transferred to the towing companies that have held them. So there's nothing else to do but this.
So Ms. DeSantis, in her email, said the earlier auction went on as planned.
It went on, but no one bid.
Okay.
So there'll be another one.
Okay. And so though the titles to all of the previous cars just went...
Well, it's the same car. The same five, or the same number of vehicles are involved. The first resolution had a number of inaccuracies that caused it, that needs to be rescinded. No action was taken, even though there was an auction. Since no one bid, no titles were transferred. By rescinding this tonight, that never happened. Okay. And then we start fresh.
Okay. So now let's go to the resolution tonight. The resolution tonight says in the title of the resolution that we are rescinding the previous auction, but there's no reference to it in the actual body of the resolution.
The title does not dictate what the resolution is. I mean, artfully, it may have also said and reissuing, permission to have the next. But in the be it resolved, it's clear that the intention is to rescind the previous and move forward with the new. As the purchasing agent is hereby authorized to sell the two or three transfer vehicles.
Okay. So if you go back and look at the resolution that we're rescinding, and you look at the VINs for all of the automobiles, and then you compare it to the VINs in the current one, the proposed one we're looking at, there's two totally different sets of
Everything
cars.
that happened before is gone. There were mistakes in it. So this is accurate. What you have before you tonight is accurate.
Can I say something? It's pretty simple. The first resolution had the wrong information in it. No one bid on anything, so in order to put the second resolution on, we have to rescind the first resolution and put the second resolution on with the proper information in it. That's all we're doing.
And I'm
There was nothing was sold, there was nobody who bid anything. There was just, in the first resolution, the information was not correct. Some of the information in the resolution was not correct. So the second resolution is made. We have to rescind the first resolution and pass the second resolution in order to have the auction. That's all we're doing. It's a do-over, yeah, you're right. That's what it is.
A mulligan. I'm sorry, what's that resolution number? Thank you. So, Mr. Gross, you said it's clear in the actual resolution that we're also including the automobiles?
No, that's not what I said.
Okay.
The automobiles that are included in this, that are articulated in this particular resolution, accurately reflects the automobiles that were auctioned on, that were auctioned of. There were no
that would have been auctioned.
That would have been auctioned, because there weren't any bids. So.
Okay. So I compared the VINs with the resolution where.
But you don't, because there were mistakes in that resolution.
Oh, I understand.
Yes.
So what happened to those cars?
Well, I don't know. First off, I'll have to go back and check to see, whether or not, what the mistakes were. In other words, whether it was another vehicle, or whether they were transposed numbers, or whether it was just completely an old list. I just don't know the answer to that. Okay. I know that this is accurate.
I understand. That's not what's confusing me. But in the resolution, the previous resolution that we're rescinding tonight, if you look at the VINs and check the VINs and compare them against the ones in the resolution we're referring to, they're not the same cars. So I'm just wondering what happened to those cars.
They may, I don't know, I don't even know whether it's valid. I don't know from where, tonight I can't tell you that. I can ask Mrs. DeSantis tomorrow if she could track down the history on those particular vehicles and that list. My sense is it was an old list, and that had been probably authorized previously and had been already disposed of, but I don't know that for a fact. Whatever the situation was, and we can research that for you, it doesn't matter because we didn't do it. So we didn't sell any vehicles. We didn't transfer any titles to any vehicles subsequent to that resolution. So it really is immaterial what it was in terms of, obviously, because we didn't take any action on it. Now, if you want to know, out of curiosity, what the basis of those mistakes were, we can research that further. Frankly, I think that, I don't know that where that gets us, but we could do that.
Yeah. I'm not looking to pinpoint mistakes. I'm just saying there were, I think, 7 or 8 cars in the previous resolution that are no longer in the resolution that we're saying.
And we have told you that, we have told you numerous times now that that information was not accurate. It's incorrect. That wasn't right.
So we're rescinding an ordinance, a resolution that was not correct.
Because the resolution was not correct, we're rescinding.
So there's no basis. We're just correcting an error, that's all.
Correct.
You're assuming there were 7 cars out there with those VIN numbers ready to go. What we're telling you is that wasn't the case. That was not, those cars that were on the last resolution were not the cars that were ready to send. The VIN numbers were different.
Oh, okay. So the previous resolution basically didn't have any accurate information in it.
Well, I'm not going to go far and say it didn't have any accurate information.
The important
it had sufficient inaccuracies that we need to take this action.
Okay. So there aren't any missing cars?
There are no missing cars.
As far as you know, okay.
No.
Just one more question. Both of these resolutions, the old one and the new one, are asking the council to authorize an auction that, at least according to the documents, has already taken place.
Yeah, you're confirming the action. The vehicle, when the auction did occur, the vehicles were, the correct vehicles were there with these VIN numbers. No one auctioned, no one bid on them. So what we're asking you is to rescind the previous, basically correcting the resolution, the inaccuracies in the previous resolution, and memorializing the actions that were taken.
Okay. So the one we're going to vote on tonight says that the auction has already taken place.
It says that, yes.
Is that correct?
Is what correct?
That the auction has already taken place?
Yes.
Okay. Because the resolution is written as if the tense is a future tense, and yet when you come to the date, it's already taken place. So is that even legal to authorize something that's already taken place?
Want me to answer that?
Yes, please.
Go ahead.
Yes.
Please do so.
You can, anything a municipality can do, it can do after the fact. It can do by ratification. Case law on that, I think there may be a statute on it, but there's clearly case law on it. It's done all the time.
Oh. Okay. Thank you.
You're welcome, Councilman. Madam Clerk?
Is there a motion to adopt Resolution 164-15?
So moved.
Second.
Councilman Cirillo?
Yes.
Councilman Krokoviac?
I'm abstaining.
Councilwoman Spango?
Yes.
Councilwoman McCartney?
Yes.
Council President Garino.
Yes.
Resolution 169-15, resolution awarding a professional services contract to T&M Associates to provide additional professional environmental site remediation services at the Public Works Building, 25 Lakeside Avenue, which contained a leaking underground storage tank under the direction, supervision, and responsibility of an LSRP established by the Site Remediation Reform Act, all in accordance with their proposal dated April 20th, 2015, for a total not to exceed $13,900. Councilman Krokoviac.
Yes, thank you. Mr. Lepore is, he has ESP. He's already walking to the podium. I just had a question in my mind about why we're doing this, because we basically did the exact same thing last year, and for $39,000 and change, and now we're giving them, or we're proposing to give them another $14,000. And I'm just trying to figure out, if they didn't do all the work for what the price they said last year, why are we paying them more money?
Unfortunately, this is a somewhat of an iterative process. They did preliminary work. They did a preliminary assessment of the site last year. They reviewed the records of the tank's removal. They did all the work that they specified they would do in their proposal last year for the $39,300. This is another step that they need to take to identify any further leaking of underground storage tanks. And one thing that definitely want to make sure we're ruling out is that we had at one time 4 underground storage tanks on the site. One has been removed, the one that had leaked. There are 3 others. Want to make sure that there's no evidence of contamination also from the 3 that remain to the one that was removed. So that's this work. After this work's done, there'll be additional work to remove the soil that is contaminated, and the purpose of that is to keep that from further contaminating any groundwater. So unfortunately, this is a multi-step process, and the remediation will vary depending upon the circumstances that are discovered each step along the way.
I have this feeling that this is death by 1,000 cuts. And because, as you said, they have to come back based upon the work that they do. I'm just curious if you think that perhaps a more efficient and perhaps a less expensive method for the township to do these things is to bid them all out, because what's happening, bid out the entire work, depending on the expectations, because once you choose a vendor, you basically are stuck with that vendor through the whole process, because you'll come back and you'll say, these people have done good work, but they also have all the experience on the site. So have you ever heard of a municipality bidding out the entire remediation work?
Well, I think We sort of did that at the beginning, but we don't know what the remediation work is until the investigations are performed. And again, the state has set up a program where they allow licensed individuals to oversee and specify that remediation to the standards that are established by the state. I would imagine some consultants may come up with different methods, but I think what they're going to come up with here is the removal of soil, which I think is what any other consultant is going to specify. That's what was done at 549 Valley Road a number of years ago. It's something that we would like probably to do at a couple other sites that have contamination, but the impact of closing down that site and excavating soil, such as in a parking lot or in an access driveway to a firehouse, get prohibitive to do that from an operating point of view, and therefore they seek other ways to remediate the soil while it's in the ground. So I think on this site, they're going to take the least expensive approaches. Once they identify the extent of the contamination, is to remove the soil.
So we're just spending money on the investigative portion of the phase of the project. When it comes to the remediation, if it comes in as expected, are we going to bid that out? Are we going to have competitive proposals?
Well, what I can do is ask our consultant is to solicit multiple bids for that work. Some of it's going to be under their purview, but then they also hire sub-consultants to do the actual excavation, and I can ask them to solicit bidding for that to make sure that they're being competitive with that work.
Yeah, on the bidding last year, the difference between the winner and the second place was literally $100 or something very small.
Right,
so
okay.
I'm wondering if we might benefit from competitive. Okay.
Well, that's what then I'll do with the next step then.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Lepore.
That's it.
You're welcome, Councilman. Madam Clerk?
Is there a motion to adopt Resolution 169-15?
So moved.
Second.
Councilman Cirillo?
Yes.
Councilman Kukoviac?
Yes.
Councilwoman Spango?
Yes.
Councilwoman McCartney?
Yes.
Council President Garino.
Yes. Okay, Madam Clerk, ordinances on second and final reading, please.
Ordinance 2451-15, an ordinance amending and supplementing Chapter 7 Traffic, subsection 7-20, stop intersections of the revised general ordinances of the Township of West Orange. Is there a motion to introduce on second and final reading?
So moved.
Second.
Councilman Cirillo?
Yes.
Councilman Kukoviac?
Yes.
Councilwoman Spango?
Yes.
Councilwoman McCartney?
Yes.
Council President Garino.
Yes. Is there anyone from the general public wishing to be heard on ordinance 2451-15? Seeing none, I close public comment. Any comment from my colleagues? Seeing none, Madam Clerk?
Is there a motion to adopt ordinance 2451-15?
So moved.
Second.
Councilman Cirillo?
Yes.
Councilman Krokoviac?
Yes.
Councilwoman Spango?
Yes.
Councilwoman McCartney?
Yes.
Council President Garino.
Yes.
Ordinance 2453-15, an ordinance amending and supplementing Chapter 7 Traffic, subsection 7-32.2, restricted parking zones of the revised general ordinances of the Township of West Orange. Is there a motion to introduce on second and final reading?
So moved.
Second.
Councilman Cirillo?
Yes.
Councilman Krokoviac?
Yes.
Councilwoman Spango?
Yes.
Councilwoman McCartney?
Yes.
Council President Garino.
Yes. Is there anyone from the general public wishing to be heard on ordinance 2453-15? Seeing none, I close public comment. I open comment to my council colleagues. Seeing none, I close council comment. Madam Clerk?
Is there a motion to adopt ordinance 2453-15 on second and final reading?
So moved.
Second.
Councilman Cirillo?
Yes.
Councilman Krokoviac?
Yes.
Councilwoman Spango?
Yes.
Councilwoman McCartney?
Yes.
Council President Garino.
Yes.
Ordinance 2454-15, ordinance vacating designation of public street pursuant to NJSA 40:67-18, and authorizing initiation of private sale of real property pursuant to NJSA 40A:12-13B5. Is there a motion to introduce on second and final reading?
So moved.
Second.
Councilman Cirillo?
Yes.
Councilman Krokoviac?
Yes.
Councilwoman Spango?
Yes.
Councilwoman McCartney?
Yes.
Council President Garino.
Yes. Is there anyone from the general public wishing to be heard on ordinance 2454-15? Seeing none, I close public comment. I open comment to my council colleagues. Seeing none, Madam Clerk?
Is there a motion to adopt ordinance 2454-15?
So moved.
Second.
Councilman Cirillo?
Yes.
Councilman Krokoviac?
Yes.
Councilwoman Spango?
Yes.
Councilwoman McCartney?
Yes.
Council President Garino.
Yes.
Ordinance 2455-15, an ordinance creating a reclassification and salary schedule of certain Township of West Orange employees, setting forth their titles, classifications, and salary ranges, and adopting a salary guide, and establishing the employee's status as a Township employee under the guidelines of the New Jersey Department of Personnel. Is there a motion to introduce on second and final reading?
So moved.
Second.
Councilman Cirillo?
Yes.
Councilman Krokoviac?
Yes.
Councilwoman Spango?
Yes.
Councilwoman McCartney?
Yes.
Council President Garino.
Yes. Is there anyone from the general public wishing to be heard on ordinance 2455-15? Seeing none, I close public comment. I open comment to my council colleagues. Seeing none, Madam Clerk?
Is there a motion to adopt ordinance 2455-15?
So moved.
Second.
Councilman Cirillo?
Yes.
Councilman Krokoviac?
Yes.
Councilwoman Spango?
Yes.
Councilwoman McCartney?
Yes.
Council President Garino.
Yes.
Okay.
At this time, there are no ordinances on first reading. We do have ABC matters, so I'd like to make a motion to adjourn as the West Orange Township Council and reconvene as the West Orange ABC Board.
Second.
Okay.
Good evening, West Orange. We're back from our ABC meeting. We're now concluding our council meeting. I'd like to thank everybody for being here tonight, for honoring the police and firemen, for honoring our special youth athletes, and it's really fun when we do that. It shows the real qualities of the Township of West Orange, the quality of life. Any of my colleagues like to say anything before we go?
Just very briefly, just wanted to let the town know, because a lot of cars go by the Eagle Rock Diner. The Eagle Rock Diner has closed in anticipation of a sale and substantial renovation and reopening under new ownership known as the Chit Chat Diner. There's an existing one, I believe, in Hackensack. And we're looking forward to, as much as we already miss Eagle Rock Diner and the Spiros family, think times move on. We're hoping for the best here.
Right. And I'd like to, I'm sure with my council colleagues, to wish the Spiros family much happiness in their after Eagle Rock Diner life. We thank them for being a part of our lives. I remember the night my wife and I got married, we didn't eat at our wedding, and we headed back to our apartment in West Orange. And where did we have breakfast at 2 o'clock in the morning? The Eagle Rock Diner. That was our wedding buffet. So our thanks to the family, and we look forward to our new proprietors at the Chit Chat Diner. It just shows that people have real confidence in the Township of West Orange and our residents. Any other of my colleagues like to make any comments? I like to wish all the residents a very happy and safe summer. Our congratulations to the class of 2015. We wish you much success in your lives, both personally and professionally, and always know you have friends here in Town Hall, and have a great summer. Have a safe summer. Enjoy it, and I look forward to seeing you all here back on our July meeting on July 21st at 6:30 p.m. Madam Clerk, I can make a motion to adjourn the meeting.
So moved.
Okay. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? The motion is carried.
Thank you, Madam Clerk. Good night, West Orange. Have a great summer.